So these people talking about saving the environment is talking about the trees in the woods. Before you do anything, you need to collect some knowledge because the trees in the woods is a renewable energy resource. And the same goes for those trees when those trees are used to make furniture. There is many trees across the world, and those trees does not use that much time to grow in comparison to some other raw materials. And for that reason, those trees are rated as a renewable resource. But yeah, there is a war, and these same people that is saying that they are fighting for climate change, they are burning down the woods. Yeah, like those same people that has the personality to be talking about the climate change like that, has the personality to burn down the woods. But anyhow, it will not take that long time to cope with the fact that people are burning down the woods, because that is a renewable energy resource. And I do not know so much about trees and different tree types and what kind of tree types you have in the rainforest. But the thing is this, that if you use too much of those trees, you're just going to start to use some other trees probably, and problem solved. But yeah, there is some animals in that rainforest as well, which is dependent on those trees. But that is not what you people are talking about. Your people are talking about the fact that we will not have trees. So if we ever were in that situation that we were about to use too much trees, that would not be any problem to redo, because those trees are growing up pretty fast. Yeah, so yeah. So it is worse with that plastic and the raw material to that plastic, because that is not a renewable resource. So even though that plastic takes much longer time to break down in nature than those products made of wood, we have also used good part of those resources during this generation, and yeah, we are very dependent on that plastic. So, and even though that plastic is all over nature, that is due to the fact that these same people with that same personality that say they are fighting against climate change have been responsible for that plastic, and that is why it is all over nature. Because you people do not care. You people just make sure that it seems like you people care, and then you people are satisfied. But anyway, the amount of time this plastic use to break down in nature is probably somehow correlated with how long it takes to produce those raw materials underground. And let's face it, that plastic has some good qualities which other product does not have. And for instance, it is very resistant, which is a reason why it takes so long to break down this material in the nature. That plastic is elastic, and it is easy to shape, and it is easy to get a very thin layer with this plastic. And yeah, this plastic is good for so many things which other products cannot do. And people say that they make this plastic of some other material which is broken down when it hits the water, Well, that is some of the quality of that plastic, that it does not break down when water hits the plastic, because it is used, for instance, in rain clothing. So no, that is not plastic, that is something else. So the fact that this plastic is all over nature, that is maybe a sign that we are using too much of that raw material, and that we in the future have to be independent on that plastic, because we used too much gas during this generation. I don't know, I have not considered those resources, but I am not sure that other people have done it either, those responsible. And I'm not so good at other plastic types, but I am talking about the PVC, which is a plastic type I have been working with. And in that PVC factory, we were producing this intermediate product, and this PVC pulver, which is sent to the customers, and then they produce their PVC products. So it must be nice to use some PVC substitute which cannot stand water, and use it on your garden furniture, and collect that garden furniture after the summer. Yeah. But the thing is this, that if these people with power would be a bit more occupied with the environment than what they are saying, some of that plastic is possible to recycle. But no, these people that is saying that they care the most is those same people that is responsible for that plastic to be lying all over nature. And then it is not so easy to recycle that plastic, because it is all over nature how to collect that plastic and recycle that plastic which is possible to recycle. And it is important to recycle some of that plastic, not only to prevent that plastic from lying all over nature, but to take care of those resources which is limited. Yes, I'm like looking straight at your bullshit and disgusting personality, and then you're saying that you care more than everyone. No, you do not care at all. And please say that instead of saying something else. Yeah, like no one cares more about the environment than these lesbians with a rape body language. And if you know how to read body language, you people are revealing your personality each fucking day, and each one of you. But you people are too stupid to understand that yourself, and then you're continuing with these stupid lies. Yeah, which is the reason that no matter what I am watching on that television, it kind of feels like rape. Yeah, like many programs, it feels like I'm constantly being attacked. But still, I'm watching some of these programs because it is really boring to be looking straight at the wall also, so yeah. So the conclusion is that you people are not very good at body language, because then you would not manage to be listening to yourself. But you're fucking enjoying it, so. So because of this torture, the connection between my brain and my mouth sometimes disappears, and what I am trying to say again and again with my mind does not come out of my mouth. And I have to try to say the same thing again and again, and until I think it is good enough to publish. Yeah, so sometimes I had this very weird pronunciation on my words, and that is not on purpose many times, and that happens because I have difficulties with speaking. So I have more than enough with trying to assure that the right word comes out of my mouth than trying to speak perfect English. Yeah, and that is not my personality to try to be perfect in English. No, my opinion about language is that I think that as long as you manage to be understood, that is good enough. Yeah, because many people are trying to be perfect in English for all these devilish reasons, and yeah. And I am trying to make what I am putting out on the internet good to be listening to, but not trying to achieve this perfect English because I'm this devilish person. No, I am trying to talk in a manner which does not irritate my self-criticalness, and it has nothing to do with trying to be better than other people because I am this devilish person. No, I am self-critical for the sake of other people, and then being devilish does not work. Because suddenly these people that is talking perfect English is going past me, and I understand that they suddenly made me part of their English speaking competition. For the first thing, you have a murderer personality and you have nothing to do in my surroundings. And what is kind of funny is that some of these people that is suddenly including me in their English speaking competition is from my English speaking country. Yeah, I'm from Norway, and in Norway we have English as a second language. And I am not trying to speak perfect English. I am trying to speak better for the sake of other people. And it has nothing to do with some kind of competition. But for me, when I am trying to speak English, it feels like low effort because this is part of my personality. I am this person that is very self-critical, and then being self-critical is part of my normal. So no, I am not trying to speak perfect English, but I am smart, and that give me some advantages with respect to learning other languages. And because I am smart, I understand the logic in the language, and stupid people do not get that, so then they neither understand that I understand the logic in that language, and they think that they are better than me for that reason. Because there is many devilish people that thinks they are better than me in English because they are stupid, and they do not see those same things which I observe in both mine and their language skills. Like, for instance, one day I came to the damage of using the words to without two O's in the end, and then someone started a campaign on how to write the word to with the two O's in the end. Yeah, so for the first thing, there is a bigger problem than how to write this word correctly, and that is that you people are some devilish fucking people. And writing this word correctly suddenly falls into the shadow. And for the second thing, I know so perfectly well that that word is written in another manner, and that word has been irritating me so much for the last year that I went straight to that error when republishing that picture some days ago. So yeah, I am a very self-critical person by nature, but it does not exactly help me when you people started a campaign as a consequence of that picture in addition. So I will now publish this picture which started this to campaign 1 year ago. This campaign on how to write to with the two O's in the end. So that is a picture from a Snapchat story, and a picture which was made more than 1 year ago. And since I am this very self-critical person to the sake of other people, that error irritates me so much that it ruins that whole Snapchat story. But yeah, it was pretty obvious more than 1 year ago that this picture started this To campaign. And I am very tortured, so I do not have the energy to go through all these pictures which I am republishing, and I'm not even looking at any of the videos because I do not have the energy for extra work, and so I'm just publishing things right away. But this picture I remembered very well because it irritates me as fuck. So when I am editing something, it is a reason to assume that I remembered this error from last year. But yeah, I think it is nice of Facebook and Snapchat to give me the possibility to repost these memories, because that is very time efficient. But I am not a narcissist, so I do not get some internal joy from looking at these pictures and videos again. And actually, I'm not looking at it either. I'm just looking at it while I'm publishing, and that includes not watching the videos. I'm turning off the sound and just publish. So yes, it is nice that Facebook and Snapchat give me the possibility to republish these memories, but that is not to the sake of myself, that is to the sake of other people. So let me go through some points with respect to these people that suddenly are including me in their devilish English speaking competition. Some of these people is from the UK or another English-speaking country. You are meeting up because you have a murderer personality. You are not respecting what is the boundaries of the life to another person. And you have nothing to do here on this planet. You are putting up this competition, but I am not a competitive person. I am not in any way trying to speak perfect English, but I am smart, and that gives me a better basis in learning languages. The fact that I am sharing some of my language skills has nothing to do with me thinking that I am perfect in English. That has to do with the fact that I am nice and I am contributing with what I can contribute with. And what I see that some people have some difficulties with understanding. But I am pretty aware that some things could have been said in a different manner, and yeah, not everything I say is perfectly thought through or something like that. Yeah, because I am just one person, and that is just one layer of safety, even though I am saying a lot more than most other people. Yeah, and continuing on my list, I am tortured by lesbians as you, and that is why I have difficulties with speaking. And my opinion is that as long as people understand you, that is good enough. And I have more than enough with getting the right word through my mouth, so I cannot be too strict on how that word is pronounced. Yeah, and some videos are very long, and then just trying to make that whole video again with that correct pronunciation of that word, which I am probably going to say wrong one more time. Yeah, I do not know how important it is to use time on that. And maybe I will not make another video like that again, so... Because my difficulties with talking is kind of dependent on how that sentence is constructed It is many times I stop on that same words because it is dependent on the word before and after. And I would never put up this two competition on how to write two with the two O's in the end. And the reason for that is that I'm not evil. And another reason for that is that it is pretty obvious to me that this word should have been written in another manner. Yeah, like the lesbian standing inside of that bus and talking to me like I do not understand how to walk. When she is saying that I should walk away from that door. No, I cannot move away from this door because there is lesbians standing next to me. But yeah, I understand how to walk. I will say this with respect to the environment, as I talked about earlier. The most important thing is to stop to produce these human beings that do not fucking care, and then this problem with the environment is going to solve itself because these other people, they care. Yeah, because one of the reasons why this plastic is all over nature is because people do like this. And then those same people talk about how much they care about the environment. So my thought is this, that these people that is proud because they managed to put the garbage in the garbage can is proud because this comes so unnatural to these people. And that is why the same people with that same personality is responsible for that garbage to be lying all over nature. So when I say that something is like a rape, that comes in various degrees, and it will always be worse than a rape of a insensitive person because an insensitive person is just having sex and enjoying the whole thing while saying afterwards that they was raped. Yeah, so when I'm saying that it is like a rape to be watching the television, that is a very, very mild rape. But oh my god, it is so much worse than what you people ever are going to notice inside of your body. And I'm not saying that this goes for everything I am watching on that television, but I do not like watching acting, and then it is not so many things I can choose from. And for instance, what is relevant is to be watching the news, but the news is really bad with respect to that feeling of being raped. Also, I do not like watching the sports, even though I sometimes comment on the sports. I do not watch the sports. And the reason why I sometimes comment on the sports is because I care and not because I'm interested in sports. And they are like, yeah, but you do not understand sports because you have no knowledge about sports. Well, what do I have to say to that? You do not understand that IQ you do not have, and that level of intelligence. So I was thinking that if I am a twin, why is only my name mentioned when mentioning twins? Maybe that is because Madeleine has gone missing, like Madeleine in the UK, and she is not so visible as this other person who is her twin and who is in the media. And that is why they can mention my name when mentioning twins without understanding that I am a twin, because people are not looking straight at who I am. And another reason why it is difficult for me to avoid writing errors and talking mistakes is because my brain is very overloaded, and my focus is reduced because of this torture, and then I can exchange right with right. without noticing it. Yeah, so this case where I exchanged right with the right or the other way around was a case where I was writing something. And I'm like, what? How the hell did I manage to do that? But yeah, it is probably due to that torture. Yeah, because I noticed that this torture is affecting my focus, and that is why I sometimes are reading something again and again. And still I manage to overlook some of these errors because my focus is not where it should be because of this torture. But as I said many times, I am not looking through or reading through what I am republishing now 1 year later. And it is very varying how much time I am using on editing different materials. But the point is this, when I use a lot of time on editing, and even though I am looking through something again and again, I can still overlook these very obvious errors because my focus is not where it should be because of this torture. So some of the things which I'm commenting on when I am commenting on sports is that people are talking shit just to be talking shit, and you do not need to understand anything about sports to understand that that is wrong. But yeah, a lot more than what you are going to understand is dependent on the IQ, and that is something you are not going to understand if your IQ is not at that level. Yeah, because many times I am talking with these brain dead fucking people, and no matter which field you are working within, that does not help you very much to have any kind of knowledge within that field. So these retarded people are crossing the boundaries to my life. And they have nothing to do here on this planet because they do not respect the boundaries of the life of another person. And therefore they are forcing me to take these medications. But I will tell you something, and that is that you should probably check the connection between these hospital devils and the Germany kids, which is the kids of the soldiers from Germany during the World War II. So I managed to keep my condition and strength level through the last hospital stay. But the thing is this, that I'm still on these medications, so it is not over yet. And even though they would say to me that I can stop with these medications, I can at any time end up at that devilish fucking hospital again. But yeah, it is achievement in itself to put it into the schedule of these selfish people that I should exercise enough to keep my strength and condition level. This is my body and my life, and I should be able to go where I want to go when I want to go there. But no, I am constantly locked into that building and that prison where just managing to schedule my exercise enough to keep my condition and strength level is a pure hell to get through. I am a free fucking human being, and I should be allowed to go where I want to go when I want to go there. And if you do not respect that, you do not have anything to do on this planet. Because you are a murderer and a despicable fucking creature, which is not capable of being around other people. Yeah, so no other person on this planet has a higher value than what I have. And no other person on this planet is treated worse than what I am. And then a lot of things is functioning so bad that we need to start to get rid of some people. There is no other option. So what is difficult is that I am constantly looking at this retarded world, and then these retarded people in this retarded world is looking down on me, thinking that they are much smarter than what I am, and they are giving me these advices based on the fact that they think that they are much smarter than me, and for all the devilish reasons. Please do not give me these advices like I'm this retarded person, because the retarded person you are treating me like I am is yourself. This is my life, so step the hell away from my life, you retarded fucking idiot. And where the hell did you get the understanding of that you are smarter than me, because you are not? So yes, I am saying that I am smarter than you, but that is something I see very clearly, and which I have to go through the consequences of each fucking day. So I am looking straight at how retarded some people are, and then these same people are allowed to lock me into that building. They are allowed to force me to take these medications. And they are allowed to torture me as much as possible. These stupid and retarded people are allowed to power dismantle me. So in the theoretical context, maybe it is a sign that someone is sensitive, that the eyes are starting to cry when you're itching in your throat. So do I think that this is very interesting to talk about in the psychopathic context? No, but in the context where I explain how I differ from people that is more insensitive, yes. And sometimes this itching is even preventing me from talking, and I cannot get these words out of my mouth because it is itching too much in my throat. And if I do not try to clear my throat by doing this, my eyes are going to become teary. And how is this important? I don't know. It is knowledge, and if you have that knowledge, you can share it. And maybe someday, for some reason, you might need that knowledge. But yeah, if that explains that I am a sensitive person, it explains my whole way of functioning, and it is kind of important. And when I am going totally out of my comfort zone to share the most extreme knowledge which I am capable of sharing, I maybe make it a little more easier for these other people like me to share some knowledge in between that extreme area and that not extreme area. Yeah, and any information that goes into the complaint area is information which it is for me very difficult to share. And you know, suddenly the fact that I have difficulties with speaking because my throat is itching is translating to the fact that I cannot speak English, and someone is meeting up to kill me for that reason. And something else which happens to me because I am sensitive is the fact that I lose my vision if I move this nervous system from one position to another too fast, and while including many muscles or something like that. For instance, while standing up from a sitting position. And that is because when I am suddenly putting many muscles in movements, there is a big change in pulse or something like that, and then I become dizzy, and then I lose my vision for a moment. And I expect that this is worse depending on how big your nervous system is. And even though I do not think this is so bad to handle, it is actually affecting my day quite a bit, because I do not have the energy to go around and do all these activities which these criminal people are doing because of their smaller nervous system. So yeah, it is probably affecting my day quite a bit, but it is something I cannot do anything about, so why use any energy thinking about it? Yeah, so if criminal people would be tired just by standing, they would probably not do so many criminal activities, but they have a much smaller nervous system, and then they do not get tired that easy, and they have a lot of energy to be used on their criminal activities. But the fact that I am losing my vision when putting this big nervous system into movement, I don't know how visible that is, because I think that my eyes are open, and really I'm just focusing on not dragging any attention to myself, and I am not saying anything, so I do not know how easy that is to notice. But yeah, my vision only disappears for a moment, and only sometimes when I am putting this big nervous system into movement. But what this is kind of a description on the fact that it is much more difficult for me to be moving around than for other people. Because this is kind of a reaction from my body that it is protesting towards this too fast movement. Yeah, and like this nervous system was not hard enough to move already, these devils are forcing me to take these medications. These medications that are paralyzing my muscles, and which makes it even more difficult for me to be moving around. And then these retarded people are defending those medications and announcing themselves to be these experts. But you are no expert, because I am looking straight at you, and you are a retarded person. And the one that is the expert is those who has to be tortured by those medications. So all these abusive lesbians passing me on this walking trip feels like an extreme rape. But I have to handle so much more than that, and constantly. That disgusting body language and that abusive personality, which is beyond all limits, is everywhere here in this city. And these murderers with a murderer personality, which is here because they like to torture me as much as possible. Someone has to fucking remove them! They are not allowed to be where I am! They are murderers, which are here because they like to murder me while I am still alive! And then they are not allowed to be here, for God's fucking sake! And guess what? They are women, and they are lesbians. And these women that do not have these same thoughts within their head is much more easy for me to pass. Yeah, Yeah, so why do I think that their body language is so disgusting? Because they are excited by knowing that they are torturing me as much as fucking possible. Yeah, so the only thing that I am doing, I am reading body language because those thoughts you have within your head is visible through your facial expressions. Also, it is visible through the amount of energy you have in your face, because criminal people have a much smaller nervous system and much more energy available. But depending on how stupid that stupid person is, some facial expressions is possible to control. But they still got this very disgusting and ugly, insensitive face, many of them. Also, it is possible to use Botox on the angry wrinkle. But in difference to you people, I do not have any anger. My empathy is preventing me from being angry. So many of these people passing me is burned into my memory because their body language is so fucking disgusting and abusive. And they are outside running now because they are horny on abusing me. Yeah, so how is your walking trip? Yeah. So in the end of that last video, I suddenly heard the sound of someone coming behind me, and there was like a bullet through my brain. So my walking trip is not very nice, but tell me, which option do I have? Yeah, there is no alternative. If I'm going to walk, that is what I have to cope with. So I have talked a bit about language today, and something I noticed that I am doing without doing that on purpose is that I'm using a weird combination of words sometimes, and that has nothing to do with the language, but rather it is dependent on my IQ. So a horny lesbian just walked past me, and it felt like a rape beyond all limits. But depending on the thoughts within their head, the difference in walking past these people is huge. Yeah, they are like walking past me satisfied beyond all limits with abusing me as much as possible after I have been abused for 32 fucking years. Yeah, and they are like horny on themselves or something like that, and that is so fucking disgusting. But I am smart, and I have to control my body language to save energy. I have been yelling a lot of time, and that yelling didn't get me anywhere, so at some point you gotta stop yelling and be better at saving that energy. So even though that yelling is sometimes almost leaving my mouth all on its own because of that high frustration level, sometimes I do not yell even though it feels very natural. So also some meals are difficult to pass, but the likelihood of that woman being more difficult to pass is so high that it ain't even comparable. And those women have their own division with respect to this abusive body language. So this is about world peace, and in order to make that happen, those measurements required to make that happen must be applied. And even though we have not done it before, we must do it if that is required to make world peace happen. World peace is not supposed to be easy. So if done right, it only has to be done once. So please do not settle for some intermediate solution if other options are available.